Could this vineyard in the heart of Georgia be the next big thing? Well, the owners here at Cane River say these muscadine grapes can make a wine that will beat the competition. A beehive like this can contain up to 30,000 bees, which are moved around to different crops throughout the year, producing up to 3 to 4 different types of honey. Just after midnight, an EF3 tornado ripped through the Grove Street community, destroying 10 homes. And while those homes can be rebuilt, what the storm took from the Gunter family cannot be replaced. The water level would have been 25 feet over my head. Now it is so low that you can see the bottom in some areas. Ironically, we would need another tropical storm to relieve us from the drought we're in. We are live from downtown Macon for a Friday Fest. The band Mystery Road just getting warmed up. They'll be here till 9 o'clock tonight. Hopefully people will come down and enjoy themselves. We've been dodging storms all week long, but one hit last night that drove a family out of their home. Carvers use a variety of tools, starting first off with large saws and gradually working their way down to smaller tools which do the detail work and truly make these pieces one of a kind. 70,000 vehicles pass through this corridor every single day, and that number is expected to rise substantially over the next few years, hitting the 100,000 mark by 2025. Now, the Macon Bibb EOC just found out this week that the funding will not be there tomorrow. So if you know of anyone who's planning on standing in line tonight or tomorrow, just let them know of the delay. While chimneys are reserved for Santa's deliveries, postal couriers use some magic of their own to ensure your mail arrives by Christmas. Well, it's been about 10 minutes so far, and the thermometer is reading 110 degrees in the parking lot and 132 in the cabin right now. That's about a 62-degree increase since we started this about 10 minutes ago. An easy way to protect your horse is to get a yearly vaccine, which also protects against other infectious diseases. But Triple E is so rare that sometimes owners overlook this precaution. One real estate agent told me that an increase in interest rates may actually be a good thing for the housing market, serving as a trigger for potential buyers who have been waiting to see just where interest rates will bottom out. Eddie Green says he was able to get this dryland cotton in the ground just days before it would be too late. But you can see it's a lot shorter than its irrigated cousin, and there's not a lot of blooms on it, but he says it will soon be ready for harvesting. Mother Nature has been pretty uneven this spring. Although there's record flooding along the Mississippi, just a couple states away here in Georgia, we are dry as a bone.
We're hopeful and prayerful that God's going to bless us with some rain soon.
Eddie Green has his irrigation systems working overtime this spring. In the 20 years that Green has grown cotton, this is one of the driest he's seen, costing him more to keep his fields watered.
They could conceivably be spending $40 to $50 an acre just to irrigate the cotton to get it out of the ground.
This cost could be much higher for Green if he was among the half of farmers that uses diesel to power their pumps. Steady irrigation will ensure a healthy crop of cotton plants, but for the nearly 40% of acreage that the water doesn't reach, farmers are rolling the dice.
A half-inch of rain would be a dryland cotton farmer's worst nightmare right now.
While some rain would provide the trigger to form sprouts, it would not be enough for the roots to hold on. The rain deficit for Green's fields this year is over 4 inches, while other parts of the state have it even worse, approaching nearly 10 inches.
We're in a situation now that we need more than one good rainfall. We need a good rain today, and then we need another good rain in 3 or 4 or 5 days.
Farmers have less than 1 month left to get these seeds in the ground, which means they can't have any mistakes, or they'll end up with empty fields.
We need to make every effort to get it right at the first time, because replanting is an expensive option that we really don't need to have to do.
Paul Brown, a crop consultant that monitors the health of over 15,000 acres of cotton, says the drought has provided the right conditions for another killer waiting to attack.
We have a number of weeds that are resistant to a lot of the chemistry we have now, so we have to have moisture to activate a lot of those, and without moisture, our weed control is really poor.
Although the odds are stacked up, they have made it through worse and are keeping a positive outlook.
We have a lot to be thankful for here. Although it is a serious situation, it's certainly not a hopeless situation.
Many agencies are on the chopping block this year as Congress tries to trim down the budget. By taking away resources used to make forecasts, accuracy is going to take a hit. National Weather Service is sounding the alarm after a proposed 30% cut has shown up on their radar, forcing them to eliminate tools they use to observe and forecast the weather.
That data is important. It not only it's what we look at, it's what models use to update themselves every 6 to 12 hours.
Meteorologists record temperature, wind, and moisture on land, sea, and air to create weather models. These models allow forecasters to see what Mother Nature is going to do next. Eliminating these observations would blur their vision.
And a decrease in the accuracy of the forecast, the quality of the forecast, maybe is, the frequency we would still be there, but they might be not as accurate from these computer models.
Even the slightest change in accuracy would inevitably reverse progress made in forecasting.
It could make a difference between whether someone gets snow or rain. It could make a difference whether you're going to get rain or thunderstorms or severe thunderstorms. Those small details matter.
Small details could become monstrous problems during hurricane season. Weather satellites are the only eye on the tropics. Failure to repair or replace them would cause blind spots. Running on low data isn't the only problem the NWS may be dealing with. Talk of staff cuts and furloughs are hanging in the air.
If there were some shortages of staff, I think it would have to be done in a very safe way. The Weather Service is going to try extremely hard to keep safety a priority.
Speculators have tossed around even more extreme measures. Looming budget cuts could mean temporary closings for the Peachtree City office, which could put the public in danger during severe weather events. This would leave a sister office forecasting for a wider area, which would cause strain during events such as the latest tornado outbreak when multiple states were being impacted.
It's hard to put a price tag on human life or making accurate forecasts and warnings. Those things, you don't really recognize the cost until something goes wrong.
The Weather Service is currently running at normal levels after President Obama signed a resolution back in April that would hold any changes until after the 2011 fiscal year. I'm Tyler Southard reporting for the world around us on News Central. When you think of fine wines, your mind probably takes you to the rolling hills of France or maybe the sunny Napa Valley. But now there's a new name in town and it's looking for a spot on your dinner table. Could this vineyard in the heart of Georgia be the next big thing? Well, the owners here at Cane River say these muscadine grapes can make a wine that will beat the competition. Just off Interstate 75 in Byron sits Cane River Vineyard, an odd sight considering this area is best known for its peaches. But just as peaches go hand in hand with Georgia, so does the tradition of making wine.
The history goes way back on winemaking. Everybody around makes homemade wine. When I say everybody from some of the pastors to the mayors to so on and so forth.
The indigenous muscadine thrives in the hot climate of the southeast and has been used for winemaking in the region since the 16th century. Browning began planting vines back in 2007 and had his best crop yet this year, harvesting 100 gallons of grapes, but he says the yield will be even greater next season.
These will be 2 years old in February. Now next year it should be a bumper crop.
Cane River is still an up-and-coming operation and currently ships the grapes to a vat in Nashville, Georgia, where they're turned to wine and bottled. The finished product is a variety of reds, whites, and fruit wines, including their medal-winning peach wine. Robert Evans, known locally as Georgia Bob, helps manage the vineyard and owns his own barbecue joint right next door.
A lot of people say, wine and barbecue? I don't get it. The best thing I can say is just two wonderful Southern experiences. Now, whether you would want wine with barbecue, I don't have a problem. I'm a Southern boy, but I understand that some people would rather have filet mignon.
The duo hopes to soon be making and bottling the wine on site as the roots continue to deepen. There was a groundbreaking advance at the Taylor County landfill Thursday that will soon make it the largest in the state. I'm not talking about the size of the trash pile, but the largest gas-to-electric producer.
The site has about 70 years of life, so it really makes sense to turn this into an energy source.
The 4 generators installed in 2003 are going to be doubled, which will send enough electricity back into the grid to power over 4,000 homes, making smart use of the decomposing trash.
In the case of landfill gas, if we do not use it as a fuel source, it's a wasted resource.
The trash emits a number of gases, including methane, a type of natural gas that typically vents out into the atmosphere and adds to global warming. This technology will cap that process. There are nearly 150 of these wells placed around the landfill that suck up the gas like a vacuum and pump it back down to the generators.
We take that gas, we do some cleanup to it, and then we use it as the fuel source to run these large engines.
Public demand for renewable energy has resulted in around 300 of these operations across the country, making trash less trashy.
It does make us more attractive. We're trying to be sustainable, so what we're doing is taking something that would go to waste and we're creating energy out of it.
The landfill has created excess gas that will be flared off until the new generators are in place, and as the mountain continues to grow, so will the need for more generators.
As long as there's trash going into the landfill, we will have a fuel source.
Reporting from Mauk, I'm Tyler Southard for News Central.